I am so excited to have you here today. You are an enigma to me. You have one of the coolest businesses, and most important to me, you are in my backyard. We're both in Chicago. I'm going to introduce you really quickly. You run a really cool niche that drives a lot of your business. In 2025, you did 17 million for 56 units. You've been in the business for 5 years, and this is awesome. The first 4 years, you made about 40K, and in your 5th year, you made over $200,000. You have a great team set up. You have 1 EA in Philippines, which I'm actually excited to dig into that as well. You have an LOA, and you have a contract processor. But 60% of your business is repeat past clients. Thanks for being here, man.
Thank you, Sam. I'm excited. Let's go.
Let's do it. I'm curious, like, how did you get started in the mortgage industry?
Well, I've always dreamed of being in it. You know, ever since I was a kid, my parents said, "Hey, you are going to be a licensed mortgage loan officer. Like, that's your, like, for sure. You're gonna." And I said, "Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad. Like, that's what I'm gonna do." No. So I was applying for jobs online, and I got a job at a refinance shop. This was right when COVID hit. And of course, you don't know anything. Like, I wish I knew what I knew now. When rates dropped, I would have made so much more money. But anyway, so I just applied online for I wanted a corporate job, a big boy job, and this is one that was hiring, where you just basically call refinance leads all day, and you just cold call them, right? They submit a form, but you know, it's one of those like low intent or like medium intent, like it's a mixed bag. But yeah, that's how I started. And then I got licensed. They helped me get licensed. I worked there, and then from that point on, every company I moved to slowly was like smaller and smaller, and I was more and more independent because I just kept clashing with, like, you know, the people above me, because I was like, why are we doing it this way? Why don't we do it this way? Like, I had all these ideas, but I couldn't like express them or act on them because I was in this corporate structured environment where you had to do the cold calling of the realtors, of the lead. You had to do things a certain way. And so eventually I went independent on my own. But yeah, so that's how I started.
That's very cool. So when you were a kid, your parents are telling you that you're going to be a licensed mortgage loan officer. Did you know what the job entailed, or like, did you jump in and you're like, this is different than I'd expect?
Honestly, to me, it was just like any other, like, I didn't even know like a percent of the, like, I didn't even know what world I was stepping into. It was just like, oh, okay, people want to refinance, call them, and then try to get an application, right? Like Rocket Mortgage. It was just like, that was it. I didn't know until I like started leaving that shell, and I was like, oh, like, this is the business now. And I feel like 5 years later, I finally understand the game. I'm like, oh, okay, this is the game that everybody's playing. Like, now I get it. So yeah, I have no idea. You know, it's stupid. The reason why I quit that job, that first job, because I was like, wait a minute, I'm a telemarketer. I'm not valuable. I don't really have a brand. I'm like begging people kind of to work with me, right? Like, why don't I just go to tech sales? Like, why did I go and get licensed and do all these things? Because I wanted to be more in the field. I always loved real estate, but I never like want to be a realtor. So yeah, that's why I left.
Maybe this is a silly question, but which one is better, a referral loan officer or being in a refi shop? Maybe you can even say you own your own refi shop.
To answer that question, I think depends on the person and the skill set that they have. I think a refinance shop I don't like the refinance shop model because it's predicated upon, it's very cyclical. So if rates haven't lowered, then you have to pitch cash out refinances, right? Like, I don't understand. Like, I think that's the only way you can go direction, which, yeah, you can probably still be profitable. But you could say too, well, referrals also cyclical referrals. And I'm like, yeah, I think referral based is the better model if you're independent. Yeah, like, that's why I left my last like company, that few companies ago. They were only doing refinances, and I told them, I said, we can't, this is not sustainable. Like, rates are going to go up and we're going to die. And that's what happened in 2023 when like rates went up and everybody quit the business, right? And they didn't want to leave, so I left. and then they shut down like 6 months after.
Oh,
So
wow.
I don't think that model, yeah, unless you have it dialed in, and even if you do, the ad spend is so high, you have to do so many mailers, run so many ads. It's like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I've seen a few LOs that really excel in that model. They make good money, they're happy, and they love that they actually love that it is transactional. Like when the deal is done, it's done. But they do say like there's no balance or harmony. You're just sitting there on your phone and on the computer, and you're just converting leads. Like that's all it is. But it works for them. So everyone is different, and like different things will work for them.
I think it was great for experience for me, yeah, but I would rather die if that was my career. Like if that was the rest of my life, I'm like, I don't want to be a telemarketer. Like I want to be in the field. You know what I mean?
Those are strong words, but that's because you really care about the field and the relationship. If you want to get to 10 loans a month, working 25 to 35 hours a week, making anywhere between $500,000 to $1 million a year, I put the complete playbook together for you on my school community. You can find a link to join in the description. Thank you. I'm curious about how you went about creating your niche, and like just tell us about your business in that sense.
So my niche has changed to be more focused to real estate investors, and I can dive into why. There's a very, very like specific reason for that. It wasn't on accident, but number one, it was because I found myself leaning into that niche naturally in the content I consumed and the conversations that I had. I just like, people started getting referred to me as like, oh yeah, if you want to invest in real estate or you need something creative, like go talk to Ben. Like that sort of just became, and then it hit me. I was like, oh, wait a minute. This is the niche I needed. I'm like, why don't I just dive in head first? Like this is it, you know? And so I started doing a lot more online, like marketing, call it like I became like almost like a digital marketer, where I stopped caring about guidelines. I stopped caring about mortgage, to be honest with you. Like I know guidelines. I like to think like I'm not like an idiot, but I care more about marketing now than I do anything else. To me, that's the most important. So when I started marketing, I started targeting real estate investors. When I say marketing, I mean posting in Facebook groups. I call them value posts, where I post something that's not selling. We'll talk about that in a second, but yeah, to answer your question, like the reason why I targeted this niche too is because real estate investors like to consume a lot of content, because after they buy a deal, or they buy a new flip, or they buy a multifamily or rental, whatever, what do you think they're thinking after they stabilize or get a tenant?
Buying the next one.
Exactly. Right. So they care about what's the hottest program, what's out there that's going to allow me the bridge to the mortgage is going to get me point A to point B, right? What's the next sexy thing? How could I buy my next rental? They're always thinking about this. So they're constantly consuming content. First-time home buyers, in my opinion, and I talked to Kyle Seagraves, who, if you don't know who he is, he has a YouTube channel called Win the House You Love, over 200K subscribers, like does very well. But if you talk to him, like one of the problems with first-time home buyers is that like once they buy a house, they're done. Like, yeah, they might refer you a couple people and that's fine, but they're not looking at, okay, how do I optimize my escrow? How do I make sure my mortgage is running efficiently? Like you can call them, stay in touch with them, but like they're not consuming that content. So it's a very like, it's a shorter sales cycle and it's dead. With investors, they're constantly consuming content. So that's number two. Number three, one investor equals 10 deals or 5 deals or 3 deals, right? They do a lot more deals. There's a lot more volume. And so that's the other reason why I think it's great. Yeah.
What's the con? That's a lot of pros. Like you have a niche, people come to you, they refer a lot, they do multiple deals. What's the downside?
The downside is scalability. So downside is that these investors require more hands-on work, more conversations. And yes, DSCR loans are easy to do, but there are a lot of investors that have very complicated situations that you can't just submit an application. Most LOs do conventional, FHA, VA, especially in our market in Chicago. We got GR, who's now Rate. We got Cross Country, like all these big retail shops, like they all do the same thing. They all do the same 3 programs, right? And yes, of course, they have non-QM, whatever. You get the point. Like most LOs and top producers, most of them do the cookie cutter stuff. And that's why it's easy to scale and it's easy to close 10, 20 loans, 30 loans a month, in my opinion, almost solo or with an LOA, because they just require less, like, yes, there's always going to be a headache, but there's less hands-on. So I would say that's the main con, is that they're harder to scale, especially if you don't know what you're doing. So that's just, to me, that means it's a more important problem that I need to solve, right? So I just need to get better at, like, yeah.
Sorry to cut you off. That's interesting. You said that actually, like, the hands-on approach is the biggest issue, and you didn't mention rate, or like rate sensitivity or cost sensitivity.
Not yet. That was the next thing I was going to mention.
Oh, okay. Well, perfect. Let's jump into it.
Yeah. So investors, some people love it. There's, you know, there's a reason why some people like working with realtors, because they're less like, oh my gosh, like, do you love the kitchen? How's your house? You know, so I like both the emotional of like, hey, first house, congratulations. Like, oh my God, you're right. And then I also like the investor side of like, you should listen to these calls that I do. Investors are very straight to the point. What's the cost, right? What's the rate? Like, how much is it going to be? Okay, cool. But on the flip side, if they know what they want, there's no sales, especially for my YouTube calls. Like, the people that book, so I generate about 3 to 5 organic leads a week that book on my calendar. So it's kind of nice. Like, you show up on Monday and you just have a calendar. So I've had 1 week, I've had 10 calls booked. So it depends, it fluctuates. But so they hop on a call. They're like, Ben, I love your content. Most of them are like pre-sold. I love your content. This is so great. Hey, I have a couple questions on these like DSCR programs. How do they work? Okay, what's the rate? What's the payment? Okay, cool. Here's my credit card. Let's order appraisal. Where's the application link? Can you send it to me? That's the conversation. It's very like, it's like this. It's 15 minutes. With home buyers, it's 45 minutes. With investors, I'll do a 15-minute call. I just had 3 DSCR loans with one investor. The call was 20 minutes. Like, super straight to the point. Hey, dude, I love what you're doing. I love how you think. Like, I've been watching so many of your videos. So like they come pre-sold. So it's also, keep that in mind. It's a different sale because they're organic and warm, but there are occasionally, I know some investors that book a call and I know they only watched like one video. I can tell because they're not as like celebrity. Like, sometimes they treat me like a celebrity, and that's how I know, okay, they've been watching like all my videos. Other investors, they see one short form or long form and they're like, oh, okay, cool. He's got a cool loan program, but that's about it. There's no like, hey, I love you. I know that sounds weird, but you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
hey, you know, so yeah.
I know exactly what you mean on that. I wouldn't call myself a celebrity in any way. You know, my YouTube videos get like 2,000 views, and like on LinkedIn, I have almost 10,000 followers. Every now and then, like, someone says, I'm a big fan of yours. Like, and I like, it's like, they know me, but I don't know them. I wouldn't say like, they love me. It's just, they know me and I don't know them. That dynamic. And it is like, it's strange at the beginning, but you know, for any loan officer wondering why you should do social media, it's because when someone comes from your social media, or even comes from another source, but checks you out on social media first, they've already converted themselves. They've done their due diligence. It's like looking at a restaurant and looking at the views, and now you know they're good. So when you go there, you have the expectation it's going to be good. You're not looking for bad reasons. So as long as you don't mess it up, it's going to be a smooth process. Like, and that's going, I'm going to tie it to what you said, marketing yourself more than anything else.
Yep. 100%. Yeah.
Let's talk about your social media. If that's the biggest driver of your business, which are the ones you focus on, and how do you think about content creation?
Don't even get me started. This is going to be controversial. I'll try to be nice. Actually, no, I won't. So I'll start with the nice stuff first. Before you do anything, I think it's important to pick what's called a primary and a secondary platform, right? So figure out, do you want to be a text-based content creator or a video-based content creator? When I say text-based, I mean LinkedIn, Twitter. I hate Twitter though. I know you don't like Twitter either for this space, but like LinkedIn, Facebook, right? Like those are posts. Those are, yes, you could have images. Yes, you could obviously still have videos, but like, I think there are some people that are uncomfortable on camera, and that's fine. Like, pick a platform to where you want to be consistently showing up on.
If you want to get to 10 loans a month, working 25 to 35 hours a week, making anywhere between $500,000 to $1 million a year, I put the complete playbook together for you on my school community. You can find a link to join in the description. Thank you.
I think a primary channel is important, and then I think a secondary channel is important. In my opinion, you need to study the platform that you want to be on, like you know it like the back of your hand. And when I say study, I mean understand what makes something viral, why are people on that platform, what are they looking for. In my opinion, I think it's a complete waste of time on my Facebook, my personal Facebook page, to say, hey, 10 reasons why you should buy a house in 2026. Horrible. That's dead. Stop doing that. If you still do that, especially on LinkedIn, especially on Facebook or Instagram, even if it's a carousel, bonus points because it's a carousel, but still, people are not going on Facebook and like these social media like for that. Okay, I'm sorry, but within the age of AI now, and with how easy it is to go to ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini and be like, hey, I want to get pre-approved. Like, what are some things I need to do beforehand? Like, nobody's going on your Facebook to like do that. If anything, you're just reminding people of what you do. But I think there's better ways to do that. So there's good, better, best, right? And so that is not good or better or best. I think once you pick a primary platform, in my opinion, so I pick YouTube. The reason why I pick YouTube is because I have what's called a like splinter marketing method, where I take one piece of content and it splits into 5, 10 pieces throughout the week, right? So I can write a newsletter. That newsletter is the video, right? The newsletter is the script for the video. The newsletter goes out to my investors. The video is the outline of the newsletter. I talk about it. I use slides, right? Then that turns into short form content throughout the week. That turns into short posts on Threads or Twitter if you want. That turns into LinkedIn posts throughout the week. And so I like to because we're so busy as LOs, we don't have time to be full-time content creators. So in my opinion, you should take something that can, so if you write newsletters, but then split it off and turn it, like each section can be a post, each section could be a short form video, right? And so that's my content strategy heading into this year, like what I'm trying to do now. My problem is optimizing short form, because when you split it up, it's horrible. When you split up your average long form content, you have to make your long form content clippable. If it's not clippable, then the short form is going to suck. So that's something I'm going to have to work on. But anyway, so as far as content strategy goes, that's like a high level overview of how I view social media. People are going on social media, exception of YouTube. That's a lot of people with money go on YouTube to learn things, right? Half of the audience does. But I'm saying for like Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff, like that mostly, like people are going to learn something. In my opinion, they're not going on the social media platforms to like really learn something. So if you're going to teach them something, make it interesting, give them a story. For example, real estate agents, I hate it when they do this. Just sold, 123 Washington Avenue, 123 Fairfield, like just sold, and that's it. But like they don't give a story. Hey, crazy what happened with this house. Let me give you guys a story. It's a huge learning lesson, right? Or like there's no hook, there's nothing. It's just like you scroll their Instagram, bunch of just sold posts, right? Loan officers, same thing. We post these boring, like nobody cares. I'm sorry, but like nobody cares. Facebook groups, that's different. There's a whole nother thing about that. But anyway, that's the good news that I have for the social media. That's my, like, did I answer right? That was your first question?
Yeah, I'm excited to hear the bad stuff now.
The bad stuff. Here's the bad stuff. Most of you guys should not be doing social media. Okay? Most of you guys, you loan officers, guys and girls, should not be doing social media. Here's the problem. Guys like me and Sam, yes, we're going to say you should be. I know it's like everybody's saying you should be on social media, but I think there's an asterisk that needs to be included there. You need to have a niche and a dialed in strategy and understanding of the platform before you do social media, right? In my opinion. Like, I think social media now, especially with AI, has gotten very competitive. You cannot treat it the way you did in the 2000s. It's changed, right? And I'm saying that because I feel like average LO is like 53 and I'm 28. So like I'm really young. So I feel like most people are probably listening to this are older than me. And so it changes almost every other month, right? And you're like, okay, how can I keep up? And it's like, look, in my opinion, I think you should show up online and like show your life. This is something I'm struggling with and I'm trying to do better at. So I'm kind of a hypocrite, but like be personal, like show your hobbies, post about stuff you're passionate about. I think that's actually really good because I've gotten referrals, I've gotten deals from posting about things that had nothing to do with mortgage, but I just so happen to do mortgages. I'm just passionate about XYZ topics, whether it be dogs, whether it be like helping men become better versions of themselves, whatever the topic is. Like I have a lot of hobbies and like things that I'm passionate about. And so I think like I need to do a better job of posting about that. And then the mortgage stuff kind of just gets trickled in on like the personal and I'm talking, by the way, for Facebook. For YouTube, it's hard sell. I'm a loan officer. Like, this is what I'm doing. I'm providing value. So the bad news is that most of you guys should not be on social media. I think you should really think through what you're doing and have a niche. If you do not have a niche, you're wasting your time. In marketing, if you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody. So you need to be talking to somebody and find out like really the game you're playing. That's it. If I had to say it in one sentence, Sam, figure out the rules to the game that you're playing and then play it better than everybody else, or play a different game.
Yeah.
Because that's how you kind of stand out, right? Like that's how you're different than everybody. So am I answering your question? Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, extremely well. You're actually sharing a lot of gold, and I want to dig deeper. First, I want to talk about that asterisk that you said. I had Tyler Hodgson. He runs a $420 million branch. He's really good on social media, and he had a really good answer about social media. He said there's two types of social media. You have one, the lead conversion for your referrals, and it is not a lead generated for you. You don't view it that way. It is just not that at all. It just like warms up some of the referrals that you have. It's better for even referral partners, way better than like any borrower. Then you have lead generation, which is a completely different skill set. It takes so much time and effort and skill. And he was mentioning like loan officers get themselves into trouble because they don't have enough time to be the lead generator on social media, but that's their goal, and it just doesn't work, and they get jaded and they get nothing done. But if you want to just focus on like, hey, this is like my warm-up tool, so my realtors know what I'm doing, then like what you said about like personal posts is really good. And his logic is a 70-20-10. It's like 70% is personal, 20% I don't remember, and 10% was like I think evidence of success. 70% personal, 20% what you do, 10% is evidence of success. And it's like that warms up your crowd. Like it accomplishes number one really well, but it doesn't generate leads. Like maybe it brings a lead here and there. It's not significant. What you're doing though, you're saying like, I am marketing myself. I'm in a category of one. I am super niche. And like you say, you show up every week and you have 3 to 5 meetings already booked for you on your calendar from your social media, and they're converting. You're doing it a different way. So for listeners listening, you do not need social media to be successful at all. I interviewed a 175 million producer, doesn't have any social media.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to generate leads, like genuinely run a business off of social media, Ben just gave the playbook. Like primary, secondary, decide video or written text, understand the platform, be a category of one, be a niche. Like, and he didn't even go into the funnels and lead magnets or anything like that. It is, guys, just so you know, a complicated process. I'm still learning it myself, and I'm pretty good at it. Sorry for the interruption.
100%. No, thank you. Like, I think you hit on the head. Like, I honestly, I know attorneys and I know LOs, I know realtors that don't even have a website, and they do very well. So I do want to preface that, like, do you need social media? No, but I like it for business. I actually hate social media, but I like it for the business aspect. Like that's like, I don't scroll short form. I don't doom scroll. I'm not really, anyway, but like, we confuse the two, where we try to do a lead generation funnel building lead magnet strategy. Like, oh, comment below and I'll DM you right. And it's just like, okay, and then you try to like warm up the referrals, and like, that's fine. Like, I love the 70-20-10 rule. That's something kind of that I do of like, I'll trickle in like, hey, I'm doing an event for how to buy a multifamily property. Hey, we're doing something, right? Like occasionally I'll share something that's like, that I think would do well. But yeah, most of my posts on Facebook have nothing to do with mortgage. But when you click on my Facebook profile, I have a huge banner that says, hey, helping investors finance their way to freedom. Here's my website. So that's the key too, is like, even if you're just stalking me and you don't like, I don't mention mortgage, but you click on me and you see, oh, okay, like this is what he does. And then you click on my website, which has my YouTube channel. You go on my YouTube channel, like, oh, okay, right? So that's why I think, yeah, don't mix the two. Like, they're two very different strategies. Another thing too, like direct to consumer is hard. Like, you guys are all like, oh, like F realtors, like we want to go direct to consumer. And I'm like, dude, I actually, like, I went heavy DTC for a while, and I was like, you know what? I actually really like realtor, because like realtors can go out and get business for you if you have a strong relationship. In my opinion, This is, if I were to summarize why my business took off, for anyone that's like struggling, please hear me on this. This is what changed my life. Okay, I'm going to summarize this in 2 sentences. Go direct to consumer, teach realtors how to do it. That is the best way to grow. I'm going to say it again. Go direct to consumer, teach realtors how to grow. It's a win-win. Number 1, you start to get leads direct to consumer if you do it well, right? Yes, it's a whole nother thing. You'll have to learn. But in my opinion, I think it's great to have that as a pillar of your business, not the only pillar of your business. And then 2, teach the realtors on, hey, how to do this thing that I'm doing to get more business. And then they're going to love you and then send you more business. And now it's like just a never ending circle. I went to a lot of real estate offices, what took off my business. I spoke at a new real estate office almost every week where I pitched head brokers. I said, hey, here's a script you guys can use. Here we go. I'm going to make this clippable, Sam. Hey, head broker, I'm going to come into your office. I'll even bring in lunch if you want, but I can teach your realtors on how to generate their own leads using video content. So they're not begging you guys for leads. Would you be open to me coming in sometime this quarter where I can just come in and just teach you guys for 30 minutes on the next team meeting? Okay. Or some variation of that script. Hey, would you be opposed, Sam, if I came into your office and I taught your agents how to generate their own leads? I know right now market's kind of tough for a lot of people. I would love to just show them how I'm generating 3 to 5 leads a week, right? Key point there, I'm using video. So I can't go teach people how to use video if you're not using video. So you have to do the thing first and then you have to teach the thing. And so a lot of the realtors that showed up to those classes, 95% of them were broke. But guess what? The head broker, that was the relationship I wanted. And there were occasionally a couple producers in the room. That was what I wanted, right? So yes, of course, I'm still going to help everybody. I'll answer questions, right? I, of course, infused into my presentation the investor product. So that was a great talking point afterwards. But anyway, like I didn't want to just be known as the video guy. So I had to, of course, like at the end, I would say, hey guys, was this valuable today? Realtors, like, did you find this valuable? They would raise their hands. And I'll say, hey, by the way, before I leave, if you guys can do me a huge favor, I don't get paid to do this, right? I'm doing this for free. If anything, I'm spending money to do this. Can I ask you guys for one favor? And they'll say yes. And I'll say, hey, before I leave, just download this QR code, lead magnet, whatever scripts that I included. Number 2, next time you guys talk to a client that needs a mortgage, can you think of me? Is it okay to say that I've earned your business? And that's what I would say at the end of the presentation. Before I leave, would it be fair to say that I've earned the business or I've done added value? Yes, 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 yes. Get them to say yes a few times. Great. Hey, next time you guys get a lead or a client or a buyer or an investor, I would love to have a shot at the business. Okay. Thank you. And that's it. There you go. We can end the podcast here, Sam. That's it. I think we're good.
That is so good. Actionable. I hope people take the script, but the key thing is do it first, then share it. I know people doing lunch and learns on how to use AI to generate business, and the way they use AI is like, write me a post about this. It's like, no. You don't know anything about AI yet, or how to use social media, and they don't use social media themselves. The idea is you have something good to share. You spend the time and learn it, and then you go ahead and share it. So for you, like you said, you're doing video yourself. You've learned that you're putting a lot of time, money, energy into this. Now you go share it with them. I'm curious, because your niche is investors, when you do make these presentations, do you ask for your niche clients too, or do you just ask for the next clients?
So in the last couple that I did, I just asked for the next client, but naturally it's been investors, because what happens is a lot of the realtors after the event are like, oh, let me look into this guy, right? But also I have an automation with Go High Level where they download my lead magnet. I send them a thank you text, right? Thank you email. And then I send them my YouTube channel, right? So I let them stalk me. I invite them to stalk me. Like, hey, like and I show my videos, my results like throughout the presentation anyway. But so naturally what I found is that like I get a lot of referrals for investors anyway. Surprisingly, I've actually gotten some first-time home buyers too from that. I have a couple realtor relationships that I've developed that are really tight with now, and they send me everything. Like I have some agents, they just send me whatever. Investor, home buyer, doesn't matter. You need a loan, talk to Ben. Like he does everything. So yeah, I don't specifically ask for it, if that makes sense.
Is it okay if I offer one suggestion? This is if you want to test it out, but also for listeners. I did this for myself for loan officers for the webinars that I do. I start off by like essentially the webinar or the presentation by saying like, hey guys, I want to generate you leads today. Well, I tell them like, I want to get you a meeting today with a realtor. That's what I tell loan officers. So for you, it could be like, hey guys, I want to generate a lead for you today. I put the text script on the screen, which can be like, hey, think of like someone that you know that's an investor or wants to buy property, and send them this text. And the text can be like, hey, if you want to buy more properties, which one is your problem? Down payment or cash flow, or like something like that. And just let everyone be like, hey, if you want to lead today, send this text to someone you know, and then you sit on it. And at the end, you ask, raise your hand if you got a response from your text. And people like raise their hands like, all right, congrats, I got you a lead. Now, can I ask you I'm going to make it easy for you as well. Whatever the question they have, you can either direct them to me to answer, and I'll get them and turn them into a client for you, or reach out to me and I'll give you all the information you need to turn them into a client. Either way, like generating the lead for them right there, because like we know the process, we just don't have their network. So let's show them how to tap into their network in real time.
Yep, that is so good.
Yeah, I do it with loan officers to get realtor meetings, and on average, by the end of my presentation, there's like 2 meetings set by the end of the presentation, which is 30 to 45 minutes. How crazy is that? 2 meetings set by the end of a 30, 45-minute presentation. Same thing I think can apply to realtors and generating leads.
Yeah. I love it because it's like tapping into the network, it's simple, and you give them a quick win right away. And so like this, in my niche, like my products that I know about and I know how to structure them correctly, create deals for the realtors. They do. As an investor, if you could take out money of a property and go buy 2 more, 3 more, that creates buy side and sell side if it's a flip for the real estate agent. So that's the thing too. As I tell agents, I'm like, you guys don't understand, like investors are so profitable for you as an agent, but if they have the right program that they can tap into, that creates deals for you, right? And so I love that because it's like, hey, here's a way to generate a lead right now, and they get to see the results, and they're like, oh, okay, Ben's the guy, right? Or Sam's the guy who helped me book a couple more realtor appointments. Like this works. Yeah.
Yeah. We're coming up on time, so I want to ask some hard-hitting questions, maybe if you have the bandwidth for it. If you could go back to when you decided to do social media, which platforms would you go all in? If it's the same, you can say YouTube. That's my platform, YouTube. And then LinkedIn is my secondary. Well, Facebook, actually. Facebook would be secondary.
Then second question, can you very quickly give the pros and cons of each platform? Yeah. So YouTube is like building equity. It's super slow, and you're not going to have it's like planting a bunch of seeds that you won't see grow for a few years. That's YouTube. That is also the moat of YouTube. MOAT, the moat around a castle. I like things that are hard. Yeah. I like things that are hard, like YouTube. YouTube is very difficult because you will do it for a while and not get a lot of results. That's exactly why I think you should do it. You know why? Because most LOs aren't doing it because it takes too freaking long. And so now I'm at the tipping point where now I'm getting results consistently and I'm generating leads while I sleep. I know it sounds like, oh, okay, no, genuinely, I'm getting leads booked every single week on my calendar, and I'm getting emails and DMs without really doing anything. I make the video, that's it. I get the results, right? And so it took me a while to get there, though. So the YouTube game is YouTube is almost a second job. I think any platform is like a second job to really study it. You have to study. And so YouTube is a slow growth, but it's a hockey stick where it's going to freaking take off like crazy once you know what you're doing. Okay. Facebook, I think, is so great and misused. I think Facebook groups, especially investor niche groups, like for me, investor groups, I do value posting. I think Facebook is so valuable for groups. In groups, I just offer value, but I don't sell to create conversation. I say, hey guys, by the way, this week, here's 2 programs that are really effective for investors. Just check them out. Boom, 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 bullet points. No selling, no DM me. Sometimes I'll say, hey, DM me if you have any questions, but I'm not like, download this lead magnet, call me today for a loan. No. So Facebook groups are effective for that. Facebook is great for personal connection. So warming up referral partners, warming people up, getting leads. I've gotten leads without even posting about mortgage. So it's really good for showing up and being a good person on Instagram as well. I would say Instagram is less written based. It's more video and picture based. So yeah, so that I would say that. What else? LinkedIn is great for high net worth people. There's a lot of lurkers on there that have money, but they don't engage. I've gotten like clients from Dubai that are like buying properties here in Chicago. Like that's how crazy LinkedIn is. They've never liked a single one of my posts. They've never commented, never. But they'll like DM me on LinkedIn, hey, like I want to get I want to buy a couple properties. So LinkedIn is great. I think you know more about LinkedIn than I do because I'm still like studying it. But I think it's if you know how to hook people and like how to do the texts the right way, the posts, it's a great way for generating impressions and attention. But what are we doing at the end of the day, Sam? We're just trying to get attention. So if you want to get attention, you have to know what gets attention. Okay, that's it. On Twitter, on Threads. I like Threads too. Threads is my like playground. What I do on Threads is I'll post something. If that goes viral, if that does well, that's a video. That's my playground. That's where I test ideas, right? Or Twitter. You can do the same thing with Twitter.
God, I love this. This is my homework because I'm getting bigger into social media now. Is to rewatch this episode a few times, take notes, and like send you some questions. That's my personal homework. But that being said, can loan officers reach out to you as well?
Yeah, they can. I've been a lot of guys have been reaching out to me about this, so I don't think I can give them hours of my time anymore, but yeah, they can reach out if they have any questions.
What's the best way? Email, social media, or phone?
Probably email or social media would probably be the best way.
Perfect. Yeah. And we can put the information in the show notes.
And you can put it. Yeah.
Ben, you're the man. Thank you so much. This was amazing.
Thank you, Sam. Appreciate it. Hopefully that was helpful and valuable.
It was amazing.